أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري واشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. There's no God but you, glory be unto you. Indeed, I was among the wrongdoers. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. In God do we place our trust, for He is the best disposer of affairs. Ameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Happy Saturday. Inshallah, everyone is doing wonderful. Today, we will continue on our journey of exploring the verse from the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. In God do we place our trust, for He's the best disposer of affairs. How can we really apply the meaning of this verse into our lives? And things have layers and layers of meanings to it. And so last week we did uncover some layers of the meaning of this verse. How can we make it very practical in our lives with the help of our friend here, Nursi, the author of this text. MashaAllah, may Allah be pleased with him, because his writings are very relatable, resonates with the human condition here, and it speaks in a language that everyone can understand if only we pay close attention to the message it conveys and how we experience the messages within ourselves as well. And these writings are really the fruit of a human being's personal reflections to the speech of the creator of the universe. And alhamdulillah, we are all benefiting from these human reflections and make it more applicable to our lives. And let me just check in here. We needed to continue on page 88. I know we left off last week with a brief conclusion of this last paragraph, and I felt the need that we should revisit it again. So inshallah, today we will start off with this last paragraph from the 5th point. And so those of you who joined us in, we are reading from the Rays, page 88, and the last paragraph of the 5th point. So let's start. Bismillah. 5th point. In exactly the same way, so long as his mind and heart are not corrupted, one who sees the exhibition of wonders and beauties of the magnificent palace of this world, that is, the universe, will realize that the palace is a mirror decorated the way it is in order to show the beauties and perfections of another. Yes, since there is nothing similar to the palace of the world from which its beauties could have been imitated and copied. Since there's nothing similar to the palace of the world from which its beauties could have been imitated and copied, certainly its maker possesses the necessary beauties in himself and in his names. It is from these that the universe is derived, and according to them that it was made. It is from these that the universe is derived, and according to them that it was made. It was written like a book in order to express his beauties and names. So those of you who joined us in, we are reading from the race, page 88. And it was interesting that last week we were expounding on what does it mean to have a taste of paradise here, where the wordings that the author used about the vision of belief leads you to something like worship or something. Let me just go here just to revisit it again. Yeah, the beauty of belief and worship. So if you respond to that beauty with the beauty of belief and worship, you'll be a most beautiful creature. So everything has to do with our perception of something. How do I interpret creation? How do I understand something? So for example, if I am just playing around with a bird, if I'm just looking at a colorful bird, I see that the bird is no different than I am. The bird is like looking at me with its eyes. The bird is eating food just like I do when I'm given hunger. The bird is drinking water just like I do when I get thirsty. And so there's a lot that I observe in creation around me, which is very similar to myself. So like any created thing, in our example, the bird is very similar to the way I am. And so it's as if also I'm looking at myself in the mirror, because I realize that, wow, I'm needy. I get thirsty. I get hungry. And like, how is all this happening? Where am I getting my hunger from? Where does the bird get its hunger from? So I think if we dig deeper into these interactions we have with creation and anything in general, or anything that we observe, then we can go a few steps up in the ladder of understanding what this creation points to. So I think it's very also important to reflect on our day-to-day interactions with things, act of creation that we observe, and just questioning what can be the source of existence of this act of creation. And if I can conclude that nothing of this universe is bringing this act of creation into existence, or in the example of the bird, nothing of this universe is giving existence to the bird in its state of being, of either being hungry or thirsty or just there entertaining me. So then there must be an absolute source that gives existence to things, but it's not of the nature of this universe. And so this paragraph that we just read with the 5th point, it's really walking us through how everything is just, it's just like this universe is just a beautiful palace where, you know, things are acting as a mirror, or I may be acting as a mirror as well. So when I communicate with something, it really tells me my essential nature as well, where I am totally needy and dependent on on something to give me existence. And it's very interesting where, it's mentioning here that since there's nothing similar to the palace of the world from which its beauties could have been imitated and copied. Yeah, I was wondering about this part, and perhaps we can go over this together. Meaning, definitely, if something is created, it must have a maker. But we're talking about the creation of this universe that we observe, as in not being imitated and copied. I'm not so sure. I'll just highlight this piece that I'm trying to a little bit understand. So, yes, there is nothing similar to the palace of the world from which its beauties could have been imitated and copied. Certainly, its maker possesses the necessary beauties in himself and in his names. It is from these that the universe is derived, and according to them that it was made. It was written like a book in order to express his beauties and names. So, yeah, I just wondering if we can further unpack a little more on what the author is referring to here. If anybody has any insights or ideas into it, please let me know. You can raise your hand. Go ahead, Adam Rashid.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to just start off. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about it, but I'll jump in. That was a sentence that also caught my attention, and so I'm glad you pointed that out. There is, in my mind, still a question mark about this, but if I understand what is trying to be said, let's see, the universe, he's describing what the universe is, its relationship, not just relationship between us and it, but I understand trying to show how it can be in the form that it is. And I understand fifth point is talking about possessor of beauty, possessor of arts and crafts that need to make themselves manifest. And so in this particular sentence, the issue of what we're seeing in this world is not like anything imitatable. We're seeing originals, in a sense, maybe, I guess you could say. What we experience on these nice summer days or evenings, and different foods and experiences that we're going through, are they imitations of something that exists somewhere else? Or are they originals? Are they coming in a form that is not describable by principles and rules and art that is shown somewhere else? Are they unique? Are they unique in the sense that they don't have any kind of, they're not variations of something that are already there? Although, yeah, they seem to have the same color. I mean, one can argue they seem to have the same colors. We are used to the same, temperature ranges. We're used to the same climates, the same seasonal things that we're somewhat used to. There is a kind of argument that seems to see the things going on as repetitions, but I think that's a very weak argument, because if you look seriously at it and you start looking at it, it is not just still, it is in itself new interaction, new flavors, new tastes. In fact, I don't think anyone can say one moment is the same as the previous moment. So this origination the origin or originality is one aspect of this, but it goes to this point of arguing that in the universe that we're experiencing is not similar to anything else, not imitatable, not imitated, not copied. That's what it says in the sentence. So I think that is something worth deliberating on, and as the author is continuing the line, because it's not like that, then its maker possesses the necessary beauties in himself and in his names. So if I understand, it's not these are not static, static things. These are not repeatable motions that are going on over and over again. These are originals. They come from originals. I know I'm kind of rambling. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about it as I'm speaking. But these are coming as though not in any way traceable or originatable from something that already exists. Rather, they're traceable or originatable, let's say, how about this words I'm using, from something which has a variety of qualities and is uniquely generating all and creating all the things uniquely every time. So, but I think the main issue one needs to wrestle and argue with is, can you find anything here in this world that is imitated and copied? That's an interesting point to me. And in when one doesn't arrive at this or realize this cannot be the case, is not the case, then as was said here, it is originating from his names. Names, if I understand correctly, the qualities, again, these are not these are original in where they come from. And so this names one's a bit deep issue. I'll pause here, stop here, leave it to those who can speak more to it. But that's what I understand so far.
And Jazakallah khair, Brother Adam. That was very helpful. So yeah, I really agree with the whole originality part of things, where whatever I experience in this universe, that's what I'm experiencing. Like you were saying, it's the original. These are original experiences. However, I think while you were speaking in terms of what these experiences point to, or the qualities that are manifested point to, as in they're not copied or imitated from something of this world, as in nothing of this universe is giving existence to the qualities that I interact with. So for example, if I'm interacting with the parrot or the bird, I'm experiencing joy, I'm experiencing mercy, I'm experiencing my own neediness. But all these feelings that I'm experiencing, these are not copies of the experience, like the experiences that I have when I'm interacting with, let's say, a tree or a horse, for example. So, in other words, I think what the author is saying here is that what we experience here is the qualities that are manifested here. What we experience do not emerge or come into existence from anything of this universe. And if that were the case, then definitely, yeah, it's being imitated and copied, but I don't see any of that here. therefore, the source of existence of these manifested qualities must be an absolute one. And so the way the author is saying, its maker possesses the necessary beauties in himself and in his name. So these qualities point to something absolute. So I think keyword here is absolute, where when I conclude the qualities to be absolute, like beauty or mercy or compassion, then it's really not coming from this universe. And so I think looking into just the meaningful aspect of things, where the author, who's not of the nature of this universe, and is conveying something to me. And so these qualities cannot emerge from matter or from this universe itself. And that's pretty much what I took away from your sharing. And I see that Ali Murmur has his hand up. Go ahead, Brother Ali.
Actually, you explained what I was going to present or share with you. Now, if we read the translation like this, now, yes, from there, yes, since there is nothing similar to the palace of the world from which its beauties could have been imitated and copied. Nothing can be imitated, can be copied. For example, nothing, for example, in this universe can create an ant, can create a cat, can manifest these qualities that we are seeing in the creation of anything in this world. It is inimitable. So that is what we see. So its maker, therefore, the same reasoning continues, its maker possesses the necessary beauty, or must possess the necessary beauties, maybe qualities as well, as you said, absolute qualities, pertaining to his essence. Now, I think this is what the original text says. Pertaining to his essence, these qualities must be according to his essence. We don't know. Let's take the last sentence as a starting point, because I love the example of book. Now, it was written like a book. The universe is written like a book in order to express his beauties and names. Now, when I see a book, I see the physical side of it. I understand the meaning. How can I imagine this meaning? When I look at the book, I see in the book, material side of the book, there is nothing can be the source of the meaning, information I derive from the book. This book is something peerless as far as the meaning is concerned. As far as the book is the universe, meaning is the qualities of the creator manifested in the universe. Nothing in this universe, the qualities manifested in the universe, can be imitable by anything of this universe. So it is completely strange. Now, when it comes to the meaning information I extract from the book, I would say, look, this meaning doesn't look like anything of this world, this physical body of the book at all. So the knowledge, the information I derive from this book must have a unique characteristics pertaining to its author, because there is no author in the book, physical body of the book. So his essence, the author's essence, must be also peerless, inimitable. There is no like him. That is how I understood this text. So this text is important. It was a good idea to reflect on it even more, a little bit more than we did last week. The time was not enough to discuss this, because when every human being has this curiosity, there must be a creator out there. Which kind of being he is? Now we wonder. I mean, theoretically, we may come to the conclusion that he is absolute. He cannot be imaginable. But still, I want to get this idea of the creator closer to me as much as possible, that I can keep it in my understanding or in my imagination. But the author says, look, his action is inimitable. His qualities manifested here must be completely different from the things of this universe. So his qualities, we can see manifestations of the qualities here, must pertain to his essence. So as his qualities are peerless in this world, his essence also must be peerless as far as my request, my expectation of imagining the creator is concerned. So I would say it is peerless. I cannot imagine. I cannot liken it to anything else. From there, we conclude that the creator of the universe must have absolute qualities, which means I cannot really grasp it. I cannot really imagine it. It means completely of different nature, of his different nature. His essence must be completely of different nature from this universe, from my imagination capacity. That is how we can, it is useful and benefit from this explanation, I thought. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Ali. Well, yeah, this, I think, at least for me, I need to further reflect on that, but pretty much what I took away from what was shared is pretty much logically, after concluding a source of existence of this universe, I can only imagine the existence of its essence, and that happens by pointing the manifested qualities to something not of the nature of this universe. Definitely, if a book must have an author, then the author, and we're talking about the author of the book of the universe, must have qualities in absolute sense, meaning that there must be well, a necessarily existent one. And so I can only imagine its essence based on what is available to me in the universe. So I have my imagination pretty much, which can help me grasp what type of qualities, or at least conclude that these qualities must exist in absolute sense, which really points to its essence. And yeah, inshallah, I think we'll think more on this, but if anyone else wants to make any further comment, and I see Brother Adam, go ahead, please.
Thank you. I think, yeah, what was said is helpful and very, very clear, and it allows us to understand more about it. I think at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, well, there is also this emphasis on and this was touched on, an experiential aspect. Like, for example, at the end of the sentence, the end of the section, this focus on it was written like a book in order to express his beauties and names seems to be emphasizing that, yes, it is coming from an absolute source, but beauties, names, arts, I mean, these are things that we all love and enjoy experiencing. So why not, yes, conclude what was already said, but also then use it in an experiential way so that you can continue or look at the matter going on, not in a redundant way, but constantly enjoying more and more, experiencing more and more beauties and names. So I don't know if this is was maybe touched upon, or maybe I didn't catch it, but if this is of any more addition, I'm just pointing this out. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts about it.
Thank you for your comment, Brother Adam. Go ahead.
I'm taking away something specific for myself from this. So, through each name or through each attribute, we see the other attributes as well. So through beauty, we can see Al-Khaliq, and we can see the one who creates over and over again in a new way. And we can see through beauty the originator. And all of these, when you see all the attributes coming together, this in its own special way, and then it goes away, and then it comes back again in a new moment every time, and a new creation every time. It teaches me so many things. It teaches me, one, that the nothing that I see here is the owner of its attributes that it manifests. It teaches me about the most wonderful news of infinity, and that it just keeps on coming. The existence keeps reappearing every time with, you would even say, a slightly different formula of the attributes being displayed. Yet through every attribute, you can see the others. As I said, with the example of through beauty, you can see the creator. You can also see the one who takes away. And you can see the originator. And you can see that from like what the brother was saying about the experience, like in your own life, you derive more and more meaning every time, a deeper level of meaning even. And that meaning isn't self-generated, it's coming from somewhere. And so that means that it's being, the possibilities become, the possibilities of meaning that we can derive become infinite in themselves. And then I think I arrived to like the shore of the ocean, which is just like Allahu Akbar. And then there's the essence that I can't define, but that I know must be there because of the infinite nature of the experiences. That shows me that these experiences cannot be derived, they cannot own anything that of the meaning that I'm experiencing, nor any of the attributes that I'm appreciating. Does this make sense?
Yeah, thank you for sharing your comments. Any other comments from anyone?
I mean, does it make sense how when you see the infinite possibilities coming over and over again with a different formula of the attributes and your experience, that this leads you to conclude that there's even something beyond, which would be the essence?
Thank you for sharing your comment. Is there any other comments from anyone? Okay, so I think we can move on to the third proof. The third proof consists of 3 points. First point, this is the truth explained in detail with powerful proofs in the third stopping place of the 32nd word, referring detailed discussion of it to that word. Here we shall consider it only with a brief allusion. We look at creatures and especially animals and plants, and we see that governing them are a constant adorning, which points to intention and will, and makes known knowledge and wisdom. And in ordering and beautifying, it is impossible to attribute to chance. There is in everything an art so delicate, a wisdom so fine, an adornment so elevated, an organization so compassionate, and situation so sweet, that it is clearly understood that behind the veil of the unseen is a craftsman who wants to make his art appreciated, attract the gazes of the attentive, and please his artifacts and observers, who wants to make himself known and acquainted and loved through displaying numerous skills and perfections in each work of his art, and to make himself praised and applauded. He bestows on conscious creatures in order to please them and make them happy and friends of himself every sort of delicious bounty from unexpected places in a way it is impossible to attribute to chance. Also, to be observed are a generous treatment, a mutual acquaintance, and friendly dialogue with the tongue of disposition, and a compassionate response to supplication, which make perceived a profound compassion and elevated mercy. Also to be observed are a generous treatment, a mutual acquaintance, and friendly dialogue with the tongue of disposition, and a compassionate response to supplication, which make perceived a profound compassion and elevated mercy. That is to say, the bestowal of bounty and giving of pleasure which are observed behind the making, known and loved, which are as clear as the sun, arise from a genuine wish to be compassionate and powerful desire to be merciful. And this powerful desire is one absolutely self-sufficient who has no need of anything. Who has no need of anything, demonstrates certainly an utterly perfect, pre-eternal, everlasting, peerless beauty, the nature and reality of which necessitate its wanting to be manifested and to see itself in mirrors. That is to say, the bestowal of bounty and giving of pleasure, which are observed behind the making, known and loved, which are as clear as the sun, arise from a genuine wish to be compassionate and powerful desire to be merciful. And this powerful desire in one absolutely self-sufficient who has no need of anything demonstrates certainly an utterly perfect, pre-eternal, everlasting, peerless beauty, the nature and reality of which necessitate its wanting to be manifested and to see itself in mirrors. In order to display and see itself in various mirrors, this beauty has taken on the form of compassion and mercy. Then in the mirrors of conscious beings has assumed the state of bestowal and munificence, then has taken the form of making itself known and loved, and then bestowed the light of adorning creatures and making them beautiful. So this is the first point. Pretty much in a nutshell, I think this connects with the last point made by Brother Adam and Sharani family about how the qualities are manifested continuously. They're in motion, so there's no repetition in creation, although it may seem as such if we're not paying close attention to how things are coming into existence. And so if we deeply reflect on various qualities that we communicate with, or in other words, when we are experiencing the universe, if we take of it as a live book from its author. So if I'm reading a book, I'm definitely communicating with some kind of visual in the book. There are some characters in the book. There is writing, there's text, or just any sort of human expression in it. And definitely some sort of feelings and meanings are imparted onto me, and which makes me conclude that there must be an author who's communicating all of this to me. And the author wants to say something to me. So I know how we always give the example of an artist would manifest his art qualities for the audience to appreciate it. Otherwise, why would you create things? I mean, then everything becomes meaningless. So same thing with creation around us, even our existence. It's there for us, displaying something where its maker not only want us to appreciate the art, the qualities, things we enjoy. We enjoy delicious food. We enjoy playing with our toys. We enjoy just communicating with our pets as well, birds, or just looking at the tree out there or the sky. And so these are all given existence for us to really communicate, connect with the artist, and because as human beings, we appreciate art, we appreciate beauty, we appreciate any kind of favor that is being bestowed on us. So when our mom makes food for us, we appreciate because we're hungry, and we come and we eat the food. When our teacher is teaching us something at school and we learn something, we understand something, we are appreciative of also the learning. So same thing goes with all of our experiences. So we appreciate what is presented to us. And so if we're able to really connect our experiences to the source of existence, then it's a win-win situation. And pretty much I think that sort of brief takeaway from this first point. Although I did see some hands up earlier. I know Sarah LLM, you had your hand up as well, and then I'm gonna have Sharani family go afterwards. So let me just check in. Sarah LLM, we can hear you first. Go ahead if you.
So the first point, the first paragraph, my question as I received the words here, like intellectually, I know this is true, but how is it that, when I step outside or even on a daily, on the inside, I lose sight of this art so delicate, wisdom so fine, adornment so elevated, organization so compassionate, and situation so sweet. These are very colorful words. This author is truly inspired. May Allah have infinite mercy on him, because the words that are chosen are so they're flowing from a place within that's really confirmed, and it's tasting such beauty that I heard the question, like, how, yes, I can confirm that this is true intellectually, but am I really tasting this palette of and the words, I don't want to, I only want to use his words. Am I really tasting an art so delicate, a wisdom so fine, an adornment so elevated? An organization so because if I did, then my daily experience would be filled with so much more beauty and joy. So then my answer that I hear within is like, no, I'm definitely not tasting this level of awareness in my observations here on, here, either inside or outside. So then my question was, okay, but why? So then I see a couple of words down. It says, attract the gazes of the attentive. I'm like, okay. Gaze, from my studies, is a very particular word to use, because gaze, as opposed to like your vision, gaze requests not only your eyes to look at something and your head to shift in that direction, but also your attention to follow with your vision, and inquisitive attention. So there is something that is attracting my gaze, but if I don't give my gaze to that, which is being called or attracting it, then I miss the revelation. I miss the revelation in the creation. And it says, attract the gaze of the attentive. So now I see that the prerequisite is I need to in a very serious way. We use the word intention, but I like the way the author does not use that, and instead says, attract the gaze of the attentive. So I am hearing through this author's confirmation a need to shift my gaze with attention to the details. And it's in the details. So where did I read? Because we all see a tree. That tree seems like an ordinary thing, or a squirrel climbing up a thing, or a bird. But if I really attentively took a moment, a meditative moment, to attentively observe the details in one thing, as opposed to like generally looking at everything without gaze, without attention at all, which is how I live. I just see everything, but I'm not really shifting my gaze attentively in an inquisitive way that would really give an opportunity for me to see an ordering and a beautifying, an art so delicate and a wisdom so fine. But if this is truly something, so if you turn a leaf around, you'll see so much detail. If you just pay attentive detail to one leaf, or, yesterday, a few friends, we were speaking of like the animals, like that we see. If we really looked at the detail is absolutely a miracle. Like it's like a perfectly painted, designed, but I can't say that I'm always witnessing that miracle. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Fariha, the opportunity to gather. And again, for me, I hear a very serious request to bring my gaze and my attention to the details, because in the details, I'll see such a discovery. Which, and here's the beautiful part about it, if I do that prerequisite, then in the last sentence here, so this one wants to make himself known and acquainted. So the word acquainted is so nice. Not, okay, yes, we know, yes, he wants to make himself known, we know that creation needs a creator, we know, but he wants to make himself acquainted. That's like a level up. Someone's really trying to get to know you and become acquainted with you. I just see such a beautiful invitation in the details that are being presented that I don't put my gaze to at all, usually. And then loved. I that's huge for me. Like someone wants to be acquainted and loved through displaying all of these skills that I don't shift my gaze towards. And then the organic, the very innate response to that witnessing, to that, like being able to attentively shift my gaze and noticing something, even for a moment a day. Like I can't really give a moment a day to go and observe something with close attentive detail, to make himself praised and applauded. And so the prayer, this returning in prayer, becomes such an organic need that, I mean, I'm excited to hopefully try this as a weekly homework. So thank you for that.
Jazakallah khair, Sabra. I'm glad you brought our attention to the careful usage of these wordings, because I think that's the training that's needed. That's really the education that we all need to undertake. Theory is good, but like, how would that help me internalize things? That's when I'm really, like you were saying, being attentive and careful to what things are conveying to me. So yeah, I think generally speaking, we are all the time, I would say, passing through the various qualities like organization, adornment, compassion, but like, if I don't take a moment of pause to recognize the real sender of all these qualities, adornment, then I'm not doing myself a favor, because then what's the point of all this display if it's not for me to get to know the sender? Because we do appreciate all these qualities, we do appreciate all the details and delicacy. Sometimes we may bypass them. It's there, but I think we really need to see who the sender of everything is. And I just want to mention an example, because I feel that practical examples always help. I remember growing up, like in Europe, I remember every holidays, we had some nice, all the neighbors were nice, actually. So we would go away, for the holidays, for Christmas, but every time we would come back, my siblings and I would always get packages from our neighbors. They would drop in, and most of the time they were anonymous. They wouldn't put their names. And so we kind of knew who it was, obviously. So that's like the initial query. You want to know, oh my God, who is this? Who's sending all these gifts? And so then obviously we would go and ring their bell, and they would let us know who they are. But like that would be like a constant thing every year around Christmas and the holidays. So so I think it's just keeping that childlike spirit alive, where I get excited with presents, but at the same time I want to know who the sender is. I'm like, is it the neighbors to the right? Is it the neighbors to the left? Or is it the neighbors across the street that left all these beautiful gifts? Because you definitely want to thank them. And when you utilize the books they're giving, all kind of whatever goodies that they were giving in, you want to make sure that you're being grateful to the real sender of anything. And I see that there are some pointers written on the chat. Yes, to keep. Yeah, exactly. I remember. Yeah, needing the curiosity of the child with observing the creation. Yeah, that's I guess the best way to live by, because like even though when you interact with children, you see, oh my God, how innocent their spirit is also, and then you can connect it to your childhood experiences. And so I think that curiosity is always there, but I think as adults we are just like on the go. And then we say, all right, let me come back to this, But I think, inshallah, let's live with the awareness that every moment that is presented to us is a gift. Our breathing is a gift, our utilizing our hands, our eyes, power of sight and all that, everything is a gift, really. And even the moments that just are presented to us, how do I explain it? I don't know. So inshallah, let's live with this awareness. And I'm just going to double check in with Sharani family. I know you had your hand up, but I think you're off now. So Ali Murmur, let's end with you here. Go ahead, please.
I'm aware time is up. Very quickly, this kind of expressions are mostly mistaken by many people, why God or the Creator wants to make himself, his art appreciated, wants to attract the gazes of the attentive, please, and his artifact and observers, etc. He to make himself known, acquainted, and loved. Why does he want, from God's perspective? This question is mostly raised by many people, and sincerely people are bothered about it. Why God wants to be worshipped, actually, or the known, acquainted, loved, and worshipped. These kind of questions, we should understand this. This is our observation. I need to acknowledge him, because the elements that, or the qualities that I see here attracts my attention and lets me know that I have to acknowledge him. I have to know him. I have to become acquainted with him. It means I have to introduce the manifestations of these beautiful qualities to my spirit. I have to love him. These are my conclusions, rather than speaking or deciding on behalf of the Creator. Oh, he wants us to love him. I would say, no, I think I have to love him in response to his manifestations, his creation, the way he creates. I have to respond back to him in this way. That is my conclusion. That is my side requires that I have to do that. Otherwise, I'm not passing judgment on the Creator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Ali, for bringing this point up. Yes, indeed, it's everything is happening within me. It's me. I'm the recipient of everything, and so yeah, I think I respond to things. I react to things. I respond to things, and you know, and then I realize that there is something that is communicating to me something. So all these messages are coming through a one that wants to introduce themselves to me, that wants to convey some message to me, and that really wants me, the individual, to get acquainted with what sort of or what kind of source of existence it is. So yeah, thank you for pinpointing that crucial point. And let me just check in to see anything else here. Let me see, what is Sarah saying here? Rather, I find myself inclined to get acquainted with what could be the source of such fine art and mysterious detail. Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your comments on this. I just wanted to just skim through this last paragraph a little bit. If I don't know, maybe we can leave it for next Saturday, inshallah. So let's stop here for today. So next Saturday, inshallah, we can pick up from this last paragraph of the first point. There were some lingering thoughts. Inshallah, maybe we can address those next Saturday. Thank you all for joining us in today on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. And really, your comments were very much appreciated. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Glory be unto you. We have no knowledge save except that which you've taught us. Indeed, you're all knowledgeable, all wise. Wa akhiru da'wahum anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bi hurmati sirri